Hello and welcome back to round two of Grand Arena. Our last match was a win, and for those who haven't seen the update I posted in my last video, I I cleared my opponent, but with a couple of losses, and my opponent wasn't able to clear my sister's team. He had four attempts on that, and my Jango team as well as my crew team had a couple of holes on them. So um, those teams gave my opponent a little bit of a trouble, but Sisters performed well again, and I'm going to continue putting Sisters on defense going forward because I think Moderate Right, Asajj-led Sisters with Spirit, I think they do a pretty good job. My opponent this time is do too little, and I've again gone with the same strategy of going defense heavy here. I have kept my Darth Revan team with Malik. It's a five-star G11 Malik, no Zeras. And so my opponent also has Darth Malik, but he's also kept that on defense. So you might use EP and Treya to take this out. I've got my standard JT Kira-led Scoundrel team. That's the prepared Scoundrel team, which usually gets countered by JDR pretty well. I've got my sister's team, my Django with Nest, Karth, no changes there. Well, actually, a couple of changes on the Karth team. What I did was instead of going with Karth, Kandris, Mission Zalbar, and Juhani, I split up my Old Republic under Karth into two teams. One is I kept Mission and Zalbar under GK, Barris, and Hermit Yoda. I've used this a few times before, and I just sometimes like to mix it up and use them again, just because this team has got so much healing, so many mass assists. There are four total mass assists out there, so much of cleansing, and two tanks, both of them auto taunting. So it's a pretty tough team to take out, and especially if he's already uses JTR against the prepared team down here, then it would, my opponent would basically run short on using a counter for that team. So so that's something new I'm trying out this time, and I wanted to utilize my other scoundrels as well, Karth and Kadras. So what I did was I put Juhani under them as well and kept Sidious for some dot synergy, as well as Visas for some extra cleansing, apart from the cleansing that Juhani gives. It's a it's a slow team. I don't anticipate that to have any holes at all, but I think that at least it's not something that can be cheesed easily. Might have to. It's got if anything, it's got a lot of AOE's. Four of the five characters over here have got AOE's, lots of dots. So at least it's going to end up taking out a lot of protection from my opponent. So it's good for banners on defense, at least, if not anything else, because I'm sure that's going to be one shot. But I didn't want to go and keep a cheap cheese team in there, just so that I have more offense. And then I've got my standard General Grievous team that I've kept over here on defense as well. So that's my overall defense, and my ships I have kept my Millennium Falcon on offense and kept the standard timeout team on defense. My opponent also has a seven-star Millennium Falcon. He's kept the Geos on defense, so he'll be using his Millennium Falcon to take out my Galactic Republic team. And there we go. We see his defense. So he set a pretty strong defense, and I always like to see a strong defense like this, which means that my opponent has got lesser available to take out uh, my defense. And if I look at his defense, his two strongest teams over here, actually the three strongest teams I would say are the Darth Revan team with the Sith Assassin. My opponent does also have a G11 Malik, no Zeras, but they did not keep it on defense. So the two toughest teams I would say are the Darth Malik team and then the Jedi, so the Darth Revan team and the Jedi Revan team over here. Luckily, this Jedi Revan team does not have Basti. I think with the buffs to Basti, she becomes quite formidable. So I'm sure my opponent would be using Basti on offense to take out one of my teams. So those two are the toughest teams. The next toughest I would say is the Sisters team with Nest. I usually would have used a Treya against that, but since they've got Darth Revan, I'll probably use my EP Treya against that. So apart from those three toughest teams, you've got a few others which Might pull out my. You've got the boss team, which will definitely take my JTR, and Evox team and Karth team, which is not really well geared. It's all G11, G12, but they've got all the Zetas in there, so so I can't take those teams lightly at all. And then there's only one real cheese team, which is the Rebels team over here, that I can take out with something cheap. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start attacking the toughest teams first, and then go for the easier ones. Excuse me. Let's go for the Darth Revan team first. Let's quickly check out the stats on that Darth Revan. So he has good mods on them, 323 plus 157 speed. So this Revan is pretty fast. And you've got Sith Assassin over there as well. Sith Assassin is unmodded, so it might be a late edition probably. But Basti, let's see. Basti is 257, so not too fast. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my standard EP trio team to take this out. So let's go Sith. Excuse me. All right. And then I use a pre-taunter, which is going to be Sure. All right, this should do the job. This probably might be one of the last times after this Grand Arena. We probably won't be able to use this to counter Darth Revan teams if they have Malak with them, just because of the recent buffs to Malak which have been announced. But if your Sith Empire team does not have Malak, you can still use this to counter them. I think this is still going to be a very cheap and effective counter. All right, let's go with this and hope for the best. So his Darth Revan is going to go first and apply fear. All right, and now I start with Nihilus. Okay, dispel that. And I'm going to isolate Sith Trooper just so that it doesn't start taunting. But obviously the isolate won't land because I had corrupted battle meditation, so I should have probably saved that. Okay, let's land some shock, but even shock won't land. Okay, I'm probably going to lose my EP pretty soon. And looks like even my... Oh, this is going south. See if we can hang on to Scion. Nope, Scion also is dead. Okay, let's at least get Darth Revan out. I don't know if these guys will stay for long. All right, may just make it. Okay, let's try to get rid of Darth Basti. Okay, Annihilator is coming up again. There we go. Let's annihilate HK because he's capable of some big damage. And okay, let's get rid of increase the cooldown. The good news is now with all these buffs, all these debuffs on Treya, my Nihilus has become pretty tanky. All right, that's it. So this is taken care of. Not very clean, pretty messy, but at least it was a one shot. So yeah, so it wasn't a total loss. Just lost a few banners, but at least I one shot the team because it was a pretty tough Sith Empire team with arena mods. So this is taken care of. Now, if Malik was there, it would have been another different story. Even an unmodded or unzeta'd Malak would have given problems over there. All right, let's attack the Jedi Knight Revan team. Now, I've been having problems with this team for last couple of matches, as you've observed if you watched my videos. I maybe it's just because I'm rusty, or maybe because I've been going against Jedi Knight Revan teams with Basti, and with the buffs that Jedi Basti has got. It's been problematic because she applies buff immunity. Her stats are improved as well, potency and tenacity. So I've been trying to save my Basti for other teams, and I think that's the wrong approach. I should go in hard with Jedi Knight Revan teams. I think that's the best approach to do. So his Revan is 299, which is about 20 speed faster than my Jedi Knight Revan. That's another thing. I should probably my Jedi Knight Revan is about 273 speed. I should probably put a little more speed on my Jedi Knight Revan, but I'm going to go in with a pure offense mirror match against his Jedi team. So I'm going to go in with the. I'm not saving my other Jedi for a second Jedi team. I'm going to go in purely with the Jedi Knight Revan with Grandmaster Yoda and Jolie, which is the trio, and no tank, just Bastila and Ezra. So we've got three dispellers out here, lots of buffs, lots of assists, um, and a very good revive as well. So I'm hoping this should do the job. Excuse me. So his Revan is going to go first. Okay, marked my Yoda. I'm going to go after his Yoda and get him out. Okay, big damage. Okay, my savior has been triggered. His savior is triggered. All right, let's land some buffs and get rid of Yoda. All right, let's work on Jolie when we get a chance. Spread some buffs around. Okay, we have to take care of his Yoda whenever we get a chance. Okay, how about now? Okay, so his Yoda is gone. I like the extra damage on this team with Ezra in there. All right, let's call Ezra and finish this off as much as we can. So the addition of Basti in the opposing team gives a battle meditation, which gives more counter chance, which makes Jolie really tough to take out. But yeah, I think this is more successful. Going with a pure offense build is much more successful. At least you get to take out the enemy team in one turn. Excuse me. Yeah, I've been spending too much time trying to think about separating Basti from my standard Jedi team. But if facing Jedi Knight Revan, I think having Basti in there is really a good idea. All right, so the two toughest teams are taken care of. We do have Nightsisters, which I think would be the next toughest team. Nightsisters with Nest. And it's not Talzin lead, which means healing won't be much of a problem. But I still am going to go in with my next best team, which I believe is Rebels. Now, Rebels is going to be a problem, especially against Nest. I'm really worried about Nest being there and me taking in Rebels, because if you don't time it right, even though you might end up killing all four Nightsisters, but Nest you might end up timing out on her. So Nest is, let's check the stats on Nest. 248, not too speedy, 30k health. So, and about 65% tenacity. So that's the only issue I have going in with Nest over there. But I really don't, I don't know if my other teams would be able to handle the Nightsisters. I have Crew, I have JTR, but all those guys are, JTR especially is weak against Nightsisters. Ewoks, not enough damage. Evox are a bad area against Nest in any case. Crew can handle Nest and Nightsisters, but I don't know. I think I better be safe and take in my rebel team. Let's see. Rebel with. So these three are the core. I want to take in Kenobi as well. And I think I don't want to take in C3PO because I want to use my C3PO with my other team, my Akbar team, and also, hmm, or maybe I should. Just wondering how C3PO will do against Nest. He'll end up reducing a lot of turn meter, and we don't want that. So I think I'll just go in with my R2D2. Yeah, let's try this. Excuse me. All right, let's uh, let's try to get rid of Talzin. That's number one. Okay. Okay, so Plague is off, but that's number two. And Dhaka is down, which is great news. All right, let's see if we can get Talzin down. Hmm. Okay, so that's not good. I've got my CLSs down. Let's land a stun. Oh, damn. So it looks like it's going to be a double shot. Nest is always troublesome against there he goes. Not good. Wanted to single shot this, but I didn't really have anything to take down Nest with Nightsisters. I usually use Treya against them, but I really needed Treya against Darth Revan team, so there was no option for me over here. And Rebels were always dicey against these guys, well-modded Nest and Nightsisters. Um, Good news is he doesn't have his Nightsisters to take out my Nightsisters, so I'm hoping that my Nightsisters give some trouble to my opponent as well. All right, so we'll come back to the nest a little later. We've got a lot of things which can take out a solo nest. Let's clear off the rest of the teams first. Okay, so for let's see, for bounty hunters, I will use my JTR team. For the Evox, I'll probably use Troopers. In fact, let me go ahead and do that. Let me use Troopers against the Evox. They look weak, and I don't think they're that fast. So let's use our Troopers against Evox. Okay. Let's get rid of Logray first. I think he's the weakest, and he has days. Okay, next we go after Elder. And then Sherpa. And this one, finally. Okay, right. This is good. Didn't allow them to take a single turn. All right. Now, who else do we have that we need to take out? We have The Karth team. What was I planning to use for Karth? I've still got my first order and I've got my JTR. I can probably use Evox versus these rebels. They don't look that tough. Um, so let me go ahead and do that. Oh, I have my Wampa as well. Huh. All right. So that makes it an easy decision. I'll probably use Wampa against these guys. Um, there's only one character over here who has days, which is Cholo, your Captain Han Solo. But I can probably go Rex Wampa against these guys. Clone Trooper. There we go. Rex and Wampa. And who else do I have that I can use there? Excuse me. Maybe a tank. Yeah, I'm not going to use Stormtrooper for anything else. All right. This should take care of the rebels. Some days. Okay, let's get rid of Han. Han is back, but shouldn't be a problem. All right. Yep. I'd forgotten I'd kept my Wampa on offense this time. Okay, so that was easy. Okay, so we have our Evox, our JTR, and our First Order. So that's plenty to take out these teams. So against the Karth team, let's use JTR against Bosk first. Resistance and Holdo. All right. Okay, this should be pretty straightforward. Let's give it to this guy. And let's work on Boba now. Yeah, Boba Fett. Let's get the... Okay. So Bosk is ability blocked, so I don't need to worry about him. Let me just reduce turn meter even more. Okay, let me just finish off Boba since I got started with him. And Boba is the only guy who's dangerous over there since he can execute and take out one of your weak members like maybe a resistance trooper. All right, let me apply some days over there. Take out this guy. And now let's work on IG-88. Boss still has ability blocks, so he's should be easy enough for him to be controlled. Let me recover some protection on Resistance Trooper. All right, now let's give this to Holdo. There he goes. Okay. Okay, so this one was pretty straightforward. And now we have First Order. So I can probably use First Order and Thrawn against this team, and that should do a good enough job. Thrawn for additional control. I really don't need Thrawn against Nest. I can use one of my stunners. I've got a lot of bounty hunters who stun, and I've got Savage as well. So I've got other stuff for Nest, so that shouldn't be a problem. Um, I can use these guys to take out the cards team. Okay, let's do this. Let's fracture Zalbar and stun mission. It's a 2-turn stun, so that's always helpful. Okay, let's see if we can take out. Let's keep the stun on, keep the taunt on crew, and let's see if we can take out Karth. There we go. Now, because Zalbar has got fracture, even when people go below 100% health, they are not go. He's not going to taunt. So that's the reason that he's the best person to have fracture. Okay, let's top off someone. Well, everyone. Well, let's just give turn meter to Fox and dispel the taunt. Okay, so now Zalbar has got retribution. And I need to dispel it again. Or at least stun him. And then, yep. So let's get rid of Sunfac, and then we can work on Zalbar. Okay, let's stun mission again, finish off Sunfac, and come over here and give some protection back to Fox and cleanse his taunt, his daze, and then we can continue. Hopefully we should be able to get some protection back on a first order stormtrooper as well. I think he's the only one below 100%. It's fine, 58 banners. Okay. All right, so now we just have Nest there, and everything else has been one shot except for Nightsisters with Nest, which is unfortunate. But CLS is always dicey against them, and I don't know what else I had which could have taken that out. Now for Nest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely take in my Savage in there, but also I need stunners. I need lots of stunners. So let's see which characters I have who can stun. I have my Zeb and my Royal Guard, both of whom can stun on basic, which is good to have. And I've got my Greedo and Cad Bane as well. All right, so I think I'll go in with those guys. Let's go Bounty Hunters first. Greedo, Cad, both these guys can stun. And I'm going to have Savage in there as well to basically help when Nest goes below 50% health. And then Royal Guard, who can stun on basic as well. I've got Zeb as well, who can stun on basic and Daze as well. Maybe Daze might be useful over here. Okay, Greedo lead gives extra damage to scoundrels, so both him and Cat are going to have some extra damage, which will help to get Nest in the yellow whenever she's out of stun. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, let's place a thermal detonator and stun. And this left the basic lands daze. Okay, stun again. Give some crit chance up for everyone. There we go, landed daze. All right, so now we Nest is below 50% health, but I'll have to wait for Savage's turn, which is unfortunate. I don't want to hit her right now because she might counter and get above 50% health, which means Savage won't be able to one-shot her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give protection up to Greedo, which is it's going to be a non-attack. And then I can use this ability, Overpower, on Nest, and then get her and basically finish her off. Yeah, so that was the thinking behind that. So I didn't want to attack with Zeb because that would have got her above Nest, above 50% health once she countered. There, this is done. So that's the way that you take out a Nest, a lone Nest. You basically go in with stunners or people who can daze and Savage at the same time. And Savage is the one who basically, once you get Nest below 50% health in the yellow, then it's a pretty straightforward hit by Savage. So that's how you take out a Nest. All right. So not a perfect clear sweep of the character zone. I got one extra battle on the sisters than I wanted, but I think we should be fine. Everything else was one shot, including his Revan, both his Revan teams. So I think I'm okay with that. Let's finish off the ships, and then we can call it a day. So I'm just going to go in with my regular Rebel team. All right, Biggs, Piston, and Han. And then I call in, let's see who else is there. Lando's Millennium Falcon. Yep. And that should be it. Maybe I keep Poe in there as well for a finisher. I have a feeling that the Sith ship meta is coming up pretty soon. Right now, Millennium Falcon obviously is ruling pretty comfortably in the meta, but the uh, the Sith ships have got all the ingredients there to help take down the Millennium Falcon meta. You've got the Sith bomber, which can essentially land those mines, which end up dazing characters. And once that happens, that essentially just completely shuts down the assists that these guys give. So I have a feeling that a combination of Sith bomber, Sith fighter may actually end up doing well in the meta. Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Okay, lost a couple of ships, but that's fine. All right, so it's a full clear. Couple of battles on sisters, but otherwise it was all one shot. I have 1652 banners. Not really efficient, but I think my opponent might struggle with a couple of these teams that I have over here. I've got a, I've kept my Darth Revan with Malik and my Night Sister team. I think both of those team require a Treya to really have a clean kill. And I've also got a couple of teams which really might use JTR. There's definitely the GK team, and there's the Kira team, which is going to compete for using JTR to counter it. And then I've got my own nest in here as well, which even if he decides to take something good against a Django bounty hunter team, Nest is might give problem and have him double shot that. So a few trick teams, no real cheese teams over here. So I think I should be in a good spot. Even if one of my teams holds for two battles, it should be okay. All right. So that was just a quick clear of my opponent. How many points do we get for? So my opponent gets 730 points for setting defense, and they get 330 points for clearing the character zone on top, and they get 155 points for clearing the ship zone. So that means that gives them a total of 1215. So you subtract 1652, which is how much I have scored from 1215, and there's 437 points. So that divided by the eight teams that I've kept on defense, that means that my opponent has to get a minimum of 55 banners per match in order to beat me. So even though I had one loss, which reduced my banners by about 20, my opponent still has to one shot all of my teams with at least an average of 55 banners for to win this grand arena setup. So I think that's a comfortable spot to be in. I think with the teams that I have set over here, getting 55 banners in each match is not going to be that easy a task. 55 banners essentially means ending with full health on all five characters and one-shotting all the teams that I have. So not losing health on any characters and just losing 5 protection on each of the characters. And I've got all my characters over here are heavy AoE characters, which require a lot of good teams to counter. So I think I should be in pretty good shape. All right. So that was round two of the Grand Arena. As usual, I'll go ahead and update the description below with the final status once my opponent decides to attack. But that's going to be it for now. Join me again tomorrow for round three, the finals of the Ship Grand Arena, Ship and Character 5v5 Grand Arena. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch you guys later.